Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so today I'm here to discuss and teach you guys on what I think is one of the most important aspects of the business world, which is the handshake. I'm here to tell you that it truly does matter. It's something that's extremely overlooked in the business world. Not many of us have either probably thought about it and why it matters, or even have been in a professional setting in our careers yet, since we're all relatively young, for it to actually matter to us. And I'm here to tell you that it truly does matter. It's such a large part of what first impressions are made up of, and of course the past presentations, we all understand how important those first impressions are. There's so much people can tell about one another just by the interaction of a handshake, and it's something that we should never overlook, and it can honestly make or break a relationship in the professional world. At the end of this presentation, you'll fully understand why handshakes are important in the professional world, and you also, no question, be able to successfully perform a professional handshake. Okay, can someone tell me any stories of any past experiences in,
Handshake?
Well, yeah. Yes.
I had a boss who literally shook my hand like he was a fish. It was like the most uncomfortable thing ever. Like I went to shake his hand like firmly, and he just was like,
Yeah, I get it.
hello. So
I get it.
it was terrible.
I just actually recently met someone, and they, like, you introduce them to like the person they're with, and then I went to shake their hand, and because I have been taught to give really good handshakes from this class, I like gripped really tight, and the person's hand wasn't like, they didn't grip my back, so it was like really awkward, like I was going for like really stern and like, but nope, wasn't like that on their behalf.
I get it. Yeah, it could be worse. So, for myself, I had never really been put in a situation like this in my professional career yet. I had just been doing what I've been doing as far as recruiting goes for about a full year now. I've only done business over the phone. None of my clients are candidates are from New York, so I've never actually interacted face-to-face with anyone in the professional world with my current job. So, up until this past winter break, I attended a business convention in Las Vegas for the industry in which I recruit in, which is the home building industry. My partner and I had a trade booth, meaning we were those cornballs sitting in a booth like this. Everybody was coming up, we were shaking their hands, introducing ourselves, and telling them about our business, and hopefully obtaining more accounts and business because of that. So it was a first for me in my professional life, and I had never really thought about how important something like handshakes can really be in the business world as well. So I was meeting people all the way from the CEOs of multi-billion-dollar home building organizations all the way down to the entry-level admins and the superintendents. And I specifically remember a few interactions that definitely played a large role into how I view how important handshakes are in the professional world. The first one was this guy came up to me, he's a nice guy and all, but he was at the superintendent level, which is pretty much an entry-level construction position. He came up to the booth and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Threw up one of these. I'm a cool guy, I'd like to think, and that's no foreign gesture to me, but I had never met the guy yet. I wasn't his homie, and or at least not yet. And he came up and acted like I was, and it completely threw me off. It was something that I didn't really know how to take. I couldn't really take him seriously. It felt like he couldn't take himself seriously, and it felt like he really didn't have any interest in really maintaining professional interaction. So a few adjectives that came to mind when I was thinking of that interaction was careless, sloppy. He seemed like he really didn't have much of an interest to be there. Or even interest in myself and what my business had to offer. Extremely unprofessional, and with unprofessional, of course, comes disrespect. I know that, it's all fun and games with these things, and that there's a level of personability to that, but it's very important, especially in professional settings, to keep it strictly professional and maintain that level of respect. And I can also remember a separate interaction in which I held with the number one salesperson for a multi-billion-dollar home builder called Ryan Homes. Thousands of employees, thousands of different sales agents that sell their homes. She was number one as far as gross sales goes, as far as dollars sold, the whole nine. She was the top dog, and she came up to the booth, stared into my soul. She had crazy blue eyes, and she had great eye contact. It was unbelievable. And she walked up.
Someone's in love.
No, literally. Yeah. She walked up, offered her hand, and was like, "Hey, Thomas, how you doing? My name is whatever. Let me hear a little bit more about what you have to say." And I look at that, and she's at the top of her field, and the other guy is at an entry level of construction. So it shows, especially in sales, first impressions are everything. Especially when you're buying a home from somebody, you're going to make sure you're comfortable with the person that's ultimately going to sell your home. So she mastered the art of not only the handshake, but first impressions as a whole, which starts, of course, with the handshake and the introduction. Another interaction that I remember specifically was a division president who's in charge of hundreds of million dollars of home building operations came up and pretty much did the same thing. He had a genuine smile about himself. He came up and pretty much did the same thing, offered his hand, say, "How you doing? My name is Scott Braun. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you're doing." So right then and there, it tells a lot about why these people are at the top of their industry and at the top of their level. Seems very professional. Seemed like they actually cared about what I had to say and what I offered to them. And we exchanged business cards. The conversation went very fluid. Kept them maintained that professional sense that you're always supposed to have in these professional settings. And I just thought it was very noteworthy simply because these people are at the top of their game, at the top of the industry, and they're doing everything they should as far as first impressions go and handshakes go. Whereas the person at the entry level didn't really take much seriously and was just offering bats and pounds, which really is not cool. So, can I have my man up here do a demonstration? So, on top of that, some adjectives that I thought that accompany good handshakes are caring, you're well put together, high energy, you have a high sense of interest, very respectful, and you maintain that professional sense to yourself. So, here's a couple examples of what a bad handshake would be like. Fist bump, such as that, you know what I'm saying? You're not slapping each other up, you're not slapping up Lil Wayne. And if you are, maybe, that might be dope. But no gang signs. The moment you start doing gang signs, no. You can't offer like that example. You can't be like one of these dead fish guys. That's not cool. And then if you don't have eye contact as well, it takes off the complete personability, the personable aspect of it. And it honestly shows a level of disrespect as well. And if you don't have any web action, which I'll show you in a second, you're doing everything incredibly wrong. So as far as a good handshake goes, look at that. That's terrible. See, you can't be doing that. No one. So as far as a good handshake goes, you're going to want to maintain a professional stature about yourself, nice posture. You're going to walk up, look the guy dead in his face. Web action. You see this web action? William, you see this web action? Antoinette, you see this web action? Yeah, I know you see it. So you're going to...
I almost missed it though, thank you.
Oh, I'll do it again for you. So you're going to want to, maintain a professional stature about yourself. Go in. Web action, 1, 2, 3, and if you go 4, listen, 1, 2, 3, the moment you go above that, I start freaking out, I don't really trust you, and I think you got something up your sleeve, and as far as I'm concerned, you're a terrorist. So you need to make sure you keep it at a appreciate maximum. You need the unreal web action and genuine smile, which will increase all the comfortability on both ends as well. And can we all get up and go about that? And make sure you keep the genuine smile, the firm posture, and the great answer.
You're a terrorist.
That was 3.
That was 4. Yeah, terrorist.
Nice to meet you, Tara.
Hey, how are you?
Why back to Tara? Nice to meet you.
I think that was one of the 3 shakes, but I don't think you're a terrorist. So this request
You are.
You're my subconscious.
but I do trust you.
That's some strong handshakes. I know. Oh my God.
Yeah, so it seemed like a lot of you guys picked up on the least. I don't care if you guys are smiling in a big sense, but I mean, smiling really does make all the difference. It makes it seem like you're happy to see the other person, and it completely changes the entire interaction. So it felt like you guys did a great job, especially with I heard a couple firm compliments as far as firm handshake. That was great. So some concluding thoughts as far as handshakes go. I know it could be easily overlooked as something that's just a nuance and honestly sounds ridiculous. And I don't mean to poke fun at it by any means, but a good handshake really will only maximize your ability to create relationships in the professional world and will ultimately turn that into profit and money for yourself and your organization as well. It's important that we all keep this top of mind for our next professional setting because it is such an easy thing to overlook and completely dismiss as something that's trivial and that really doesn't make a difference, but it truly does, and especially in first impressions in general, you really can't overlook much simply because the small things are what actually make up the impressions and the first impressions, which we all know is so important in making and maintaining those relationships in the professional world. So if you can keep everything I just mentioned in mind, everything should go smoothly and you guys should do great in your business as well. Thank you.
marijuana.